Oh my goodness, I am exhausted. I don't know if it's just me or if anybody else is feeling the end of the school year like a wrecking ball, but it is kicking my tushy. Anyway, I am going to try to perk up because I want to talk to you for today's Tuesday tip about how to get silent or resistant students to open up in the counseling office and give you some strategies for that. So basically, the first thing that I do when I have a kiddo come in and to the counseling office and they're not able to talk about their problem is I just give them some time. And so what that looks like is asking them if they need a few minutes to calm themselves down and gather their thoughts, and to which I usually get a head nod. And if they tell me yes, then I explain that I'm just going to turn around, I'm going to work on my computer or continue what I was doing while they take the time that they need to compose themselves. And that might sound unfeeling, but actually it's very soothing to the child who doesn't really need or want my attention on them when they're trying to compose themselves, and it sort of takes the spotlight off them when I'm distracted with my task that I was originally doing. And so then after a few minutes, if they don't let me know that they're ready, I will turn back around and ask them if they're ready to talk. And at this point, if they tell me no, then I move on to my second strategy, which is asking them if they would rather draw or write their problem instead of telling me, to which I usually get a head nod because it's much easier to write it down than it is to talk about it, or if you have littles to draw it. And so I give them paper and markers and a pencil, and again explain that I'm just going to give them as much time as they need to get their problem written down or drawn, and I'm going to work on my computer until they're done. If that doesn't work, then I go to my last strategy, which is basically telling them that it's obvious that they're not ready to talk about their problem, and that's okay. So instead, I ask them if they'll just stay and play a game with me since they're in the office anyway. And that's when I pull out my secret weapon, the feeling, thinking, doing game, which is a wonderful therapeutic game that's disguised as just a regular board game. And it almost always gets kids to open up and talk about whatever their problem is anyway. I highly recommend that you spend the money and get yourself a copy on, you can just find it on Amazon. And if that doesn't work, then we finish up the game. I send them back to class, and I just make sure I pull them in another couple days to talk about the problem. And I'm usually going to give the parents a call that I tried to talk about a problem and they weren't able to, just in case, there's something more going on, so that the parent is able to keep an eye on them at home as well. So I hope this helps you the next time you need to get one of your silent kiddos to open up. And happy counseling.